This truth is gonna be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puppies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names.
Yet again, congrats youthful Miami run as quick as Cassie did. Cassie battled a claim in New York City against Diddy. She's guaranteeing she was caught in a decade-long pattern of misuse brutality. And dealing as the years go by and life occurs and things open up, you will generally be able to see things. Contrastingly, Panther Privileges is on the job to uncover the filthy insider facts of Sean Diddy brushes, since Diddy has been standing out as truly newsworthy for everyone of some unacceptable reason. In's Jag has made a move to debase his public picture considerably. Additionally, we should dive into this continuous debate that will disclose the genuine essence of the scandalous music tycoon. In an unstable meeting with hip bounce uncensored Puma, dropped bombs on the inward functions of the general public. In a snapshot of huge dauntlessness, Jag uncovered that most men in the business have gone through at least one kinds of provocation. She suggested that individuals, for example, Diddy Shan Combs, were the ones who make them hopeless for individual delight and influence trips. She expressed a large portion of the men that would fit the bill to be in the homo hooligan classification. Ruler Jag made sense of that. The philosophy behind carrying out this large number of fiendish things is to control individuals and declare predominance over the course of the week. This isn't about right. It's about control. Right? This isn't about progress. It's about cash, adding one more layer of intricacy. Panther met the sense of that every one of the EX leaders, including Diddy, have been establishing a harsh climate encompassing the inward music culture. You see, she insinuated that the vast majority of them participate in slanderous close connections with their craftsmen to hold them powerless to resist them. Panther guaranteed that she got to be aware of this revolting side of the business after she saw it herself while visiting a studio for work. Now that is only a glimpse of something larger. Jag later uncovered that in the background, nobody needs to have a gifted craftsman. They all need an individual who might satisfy their peculiar cozy cravings, and thusly they will give them cash. That is all the condition, letting that do a wide range of strange stuff with natural liquids all over you like you too have merited that film bargain. The situation starts to get interesting further as Wright, who has been vocal about uncovering the clouded side of the music business, said in a meeting that Diddy was prepaid, read by Clive Davis, an unbelievable music chief, to be his Don Juan and to enlist other youthful specialists for his pleasure. People of color are the most slighted men in this nation, yet assuming you able to get kneeling down and open up your mouth wide, you become a piece of a tip-top team. At this point, you could have caught wind of mafia rule inside the business. While Jag has asserted that the explanation Diddy is at the head of the pecking order is a result of his gatherings, she uncovered that Daddy has laid out his standard by dread, and presently everyone admires him. Now, in the event that you think Jag is done, you're totally wrong. During the meeting, Panther divulged that credulous craftsmen are endorsed with dubious expressions in the agreement. You see, these personal joys are a vital part of the marked specialists. They ought to take each of the photos that they take of these niggas and these ladies, and they ought to put that down on the counter with the agreement before individuals sign. To finish it off, Puma hopped in, making sense of how her companion strolled in on Diddy during some candy activity with Christopher Williams. She implied that it was the perfect representation of Diddy getting personal blessings in return for TRS. When she strolled in, the entryway wasn't locked, so she didn't mull over strolling in. And when she strolled in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on way. She has additionally approached with new charges against the skilled chief she funded. Mentally brought up that each late individual from Uptown Records has met with mishaps and passed on or almost kicked the bucket, yet nothing has at any point happened to Diddy. She has courageously communicated that the circumstance is extremely crude regardless, other than she called attention to that the lamentable occurrences possibly happened to the specialists when they began composing honest accounts of their lives. The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all composing tell-all books. Andre was composing a book with every one of the penances made by Diddy. We should not fail to remember the less than ideal demise of Kim Watchman. The reason for death, as per the principal coroner report, was pneumonia, yet she was the longest working representative of Uptown Records. On top of being Diddy's associate, her passing was additionally researched, and a few surprising bits of insight were uncovered. The primary coroner's report presumed that there was no known history of use or liquor abuse, and no indications of injury. Edit cuss words. The report determined that Dorman had ventured out to Africa prior to becoming sick, uncovering that she had no well-being objections at the time she got back from her excursion. Puma accepts that Kim was harmed, and she likewise indicated that the guilty party was, in all honesty, Diddy himself. They have harms that make coronary episode and pneumonia-like side effects. Now, it is very conceivable that Diddy has been engaged with nauseating things. Ike, that all of you realize that Diddy was as of late sued in government court by Cassie, R&B artist who was once endorsed to his name. Cassie has blamed Mr. Chis for obtuse wrongdoings, alongside a rehashed actual infringement over about 10 years. It is especially essential to take note of that Cassie uncovered in the court reports that Diddy used to really drive her into profane exercises despite her desire to the contrary in the room. As per Amusement Week by Week, Ventura claimed that Combs anticipated that she should set up for freak-off meetings wherein he would notice and film her having closeness with grown-up male laborers. She asserted that Combs likewise hurt her habitually during angry outbursts and constrained her to take various substances which might have prompted cognitive decline issues. She later encountered the claim expressed Combs started forcefully seeking after Ventura, who endorsed with Terrible Kid at age 19, and immediately slung to popularity, welcoming himself to a social event for her 21st birthday, where he effectively kissed her and promptly applied his influence and impact. Yet, as one can envision, because of Combs' higher status as the pioneer behind Awful Kid Records, Ventura couldn't deny his advances or substances so far as that is concerned. Without endangering her vocation, in spite of her endeavors to get away from Combs' poisonous relationship, Cassie was over and again found by his tremendous organization of enterprises and subsidiary elements and constrained to get back to him in a proclamation. Cassie made sense of her aim of proposing the topic by saying, after years peacefully and haziness, I'm at long last prepared to recount my story and to shout out for myself and to serve different ladies who face viciousness in their associations with the termination of New York's grown-up survivors. Move quickly, moving toward obviously this was a chance to shout out about the injury I have encountered and that I will recuperate from until the end of my life. Accordingly, a legal counselor for Mr. Combs, Ben Brofman, asserted that Cassie was utilizing the claim to coerce cash from his client. He said Mr. Brushes passionately denies these hostile and crazy charges. For the beyond a half year, Mr. Brushes has been exposed to Miss Ventura's tireless interest of $30 million under the danger of composing a harming book about their relationship, which was unequivocally dismissed as unmitigated shakedown, notwithstanding pulling out her underlying danger. Ventura has now turned to recording a claim filled with unjustifiable and preposterous untruths, planning to discolor Mr. Combs' standing, and looking for a payday. Despite the fact that Diddy Vlad denied the claims, he utilized his quick hand to manage the issue. You see, soon after a day of documenting, Diddy had the option to dole out the retribution with Cassie. This unexpected improvement for the situation conspicuously features Diddy's feeling of remorse. Curiously, the repayment was reported in an explanation sent by lawyer Douglas Wigdor, who addresses Cassie. In an explanation, Cassie said, I have chosen to determine this matter genially on conditions that I have some degree of control. I need to thank my family, fans, and attorneys for their steadfast help. Later on, Ben advised TMZ to make sure we're clear. A choice to settle a claim, particularly in 2023, is not the slightest bit a confirmation of bad behavior. Mr. Combs' choice to settle the claim in no manner subvert his flat-out refusal of the case's how he is blissful. They got to a shared repayment and hopes everything would turn great for Miss Ventura. For the people who are uninformed, these are not the most serious charges that have been evened out against Diddy starting from the start of his profession. You probably won't really accept that Diddy is as yet an informal public suspect of Kim journalist end. A source transferred a video on Twitter asserting that Diddy's ex had been watching him and would very before long have him in her grip. She behaves like she's attempting to unnerve her ex. She is around him vigorously a lot. She watches him. She sees what he's talking about. She knows now the claims against Diddy are not wrapped up using any and all means. Assortment detailed that Diddy Brushes was blamed in a claim on Wednesday for assaulting a 17-year-old young lady in 2003, denoting the fourth a charge stopped against the maker. As of late, the offended party, recognized as Jane Doe, affirmed that she had flown on a personal luxury Plane from Michigan to Combs Keep Studio in New York, where she was made the most of